Hey there, everyone. It's David Barnett here. I wanted to make this little video to show you exactly what is included inside the Business Buyer Adventure group coaching program. So to begin with, I used to do groups anywhere from a few months up to a year to help people who wanted to come together and try and find a business and make a deal for that business. And the problem with that is that we had a set start time and a certain period of time that people had to commit to be a part of the group coaching. And through feedback in questionnaires that I'd done with my audience, what I learned is that people were really interested in a program where they could join whenever it was right for them and then stay in the program and get the advantages of the group dynamic and the coaching from me until they found that business, and then they could leave the program. So more flexibility on when you come in and leave the program. And so I've kind of designed it on the idea of those hop-on, hop-off tours that we can often do in a big city, where there's those buses that circulate and you can get on the bus and off the bus when you need to. So the Business Buyer Adventure group coaching program basically has three distinctive parts. The first part is the program to help you get on the bus, to get up to speed with the rest of the people that are already in the program. And so what I've done is I've created a 12-module self-preparation program. There's a workbook. You go through all 12 of those modules, you fill in the blanks for a lot of them, work on some spreadsheets for other things, and get yourself ready to come and join the rest of us. The second part is the Hunt Club, which is the group of people that are actively seeking a business and want to be held accountable to their goals for activity in the given month. And then on top of that, we have additional exclusive content. So I'm going to give you a little bit more information about each of these three. So the next step, as I mentioned, there are 12 modules, and picks up from the end of the Business Buyer Advantage course. So going through and working on identifying exactly what your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are to try and see what you bring to the table as far as being a business owner. This is going to help define what kind of business that we're going to be looking for. We're going to do an assessment of your resources. So this has to do with the money that you have available. And I've built several spreadsheets which show us, what kind of liquid capital might be available from an individual based on their assets and the debts tied to those assets. Defining your target is actually sitting down and creating a sketch of what that target business is going to look like, and what it's likely going to cost and what the cash flow is going to be. There are a lot of businesses out there that are for sale, and one of the biggest things that can happen as a business buyer is you can end up wasting a lot of time going through material when the business doesn't actually meet the basic criteria to give you what you're looking for. So when you've clearly defined your target, it makes it far easier to identify those businesses so that when they appear, hey, this is one that I'm after, and you can move on it. Also, in implementing the strategy that we do in the group for going out and finding businesses that are not yet on the market, it's critical to have that target sketch to know what you're looking for. In Business Buyer Advantage, we talk about the BATNA, the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. And in the next step, you actually work on writing it out line by line, exactly what that BATNA is. Developing your seller presentation, how you present yourself to a seller, and the documentation that we use both with sellers and in the letters that try to entice people to make their business available for us to come and take a look at, and also creating those suspect and prospect lists. So all this stuff is done through the next step, which has a workbook you work through. And basically for people that are joining the program, by going through this, it gets you up to speed so you can be at the same place as everyone else who is participating in the program. Once you're finished with the next step, then you're part of the group, the hunting party, so to speak, that is out there looking for businesses to buy. So we do regular live calls where we go over your posted targets. So you're going to be held accountable to the targets that you set as far as either contacting prospects or refining suspect lists or conversations that you're going to be having depending on the stage that you're at in your business search. You're going to be able to interact with other people that are looking for a business. We've got a secret private Facebook group that is set up where you are going to be able to talk with these other people. And then we also highlight you to each other. So for example, if you're looking for a certain kind of business, there could be a member in the group who has expertise in that industry. And so it would be really important to meet that person because you'll be able to help each other. through analyzing the business and maybe even in finding one. And then there's going to be my commentary and guidance on the business search and negotiation. So as people move through the different steps of the process and they need a little bit of one-on-one time from me, by being in the group in Business Buyer Adventure, what's going to happen is we have that one-on-one conversation, but we do it over Zoom so that we can then share that conversation with the other people that are in the group. And that way, you're not only learning from your interaction with me, but you get to learn from the way other people in the group interact with me and between each of you. So we get to learn from each other as well. There's additional exclusive content that is only made available to people that are in the group. So number one, people like to fire me off emails all the time with one-off questions, people who watch YouTube videos and things like this. And what I'll often say to those people is, hey, that's a great question. I'm going to put it in my video list and turn it into a weekly video. But people that are in Business Buyer Adventure actually get brain-picking privileges where they can send me an email. I'll reply back to them. If the question opens up a can of worms that we really need to get into a discussion about, then we'll do it over Zoom and make that video available to the people that are in the group. We also have deal review videos. So when a member of the group finds a deal and they want to review it with me, we do that so that everyone gets to see what's going on. Expert calls. So I have experts who are who have a huge amount of knowledge in a specific topic as it relates to either buying a business or in the transition of ownership of a business or in managing and running a business. Because if you're buying a business, it means you're going to be a business owner, which means we want to also take some time to learn some of the things that we can do when we get our hands on the business to make it perform better. And by learning how we can make it work better, we can also help to identify some of the things that may be wrong with the business. Excuse me. And that, of course, gives us an added reason to buy. Because if a business is profitable with some of these problems in place that we know how to fix, then it means that once we get those things regulated, we'll be able to make even more money with it. Adventure calls are the regular Q&A calls where group members can come and bring any questions to the table, and we'll answer those in a live call format. And of course, the calls are always shared with everyone else so they get to watch. And the Buy a Business Roadmap, which is a breakdown of the steps that you go through in order to move yourself from someone who wants to buy a business to actually someone who has closed on a deal and is a business owner. And that's also something available to people that are in the group. So who is Business Buyer Adventure for? Number one, it's for people who have completed Business Buyer Advantage, the online course. So the online course is the training where I teach you about how you go through the process of buying a business. Going from Business Buyer Advantage to actually going out and talking with people, there's a gap there, and that's what this program is all about. So everyone should take Business Buyer Advantage first so that they will know what we're talking about here in Business Buyer Adventure. You should get into this group if you're looking for a small business that you're going to buy and become the manager of. Right? So this is for Main Street businesses. This is not for people who are private equity people that are trying to acquire a series of businesses that other people are going to manage and they have bank accounts with millions of dollars in them. This is for people who want to buy a business where they will become the owner manager of that business. And people who want to acquire those kinds of businesses as an add-on to an existing business. So if you have the car wash and you're looking to buy other car washes to add them to your chain, then you're also going to find value here as well. And it's very importantly, it's for people who can manage their household spending and savings. So this is not a group that you can join where I'm going to show you how a person with bad credit and no savings, who's deeply in debt and just got out of bankruptcy, is going to figure out how to buy a successful, profitable business with no money down and none of their own, money. Those aren't the kinds of promises of what I'm doing here. These are real everyday deals that are done all over the country every day to buy real businesses that have supported their owners and their families for years or decades. And you want to acquire it because you want to take control of your life and work in a business that you're going to manage that is going to provide that same kind of financial freedom and flexibility to you and your family in the years to come. And so if it sounds good, then come on over, sign up. And of course, you sign up to the Business Buyer Adventure at the businessbuyeradvantage.com website, because this is one of the 4 pieces of my Business Buyer Advantage program. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.